Hi there, and welcome to this tutorial on how to edit the sidebar in Google Sites. First, if you see, I'm on the MCHS Portfolio example site, so you need to get to your site so you can kind of poke around while I'm showing you how to edit this sidebar, because this is something you're probably going to have to do quite a bit. So, to edit the sidebar, now what do I mean by sidebar? The sidebar is over here. It's on the left by default. You can have it on the right if you want, and we'll show you later on how you can switch it if you want. But the sidebar is over here. So in order to edit that, you need to come up to the More button, and you need to click on Edit Site Layout. And you see now you have a different menu, and if I scroll my cursor over things, they highlight up. It's just amazing. So let me walk you through this. Let's start first with this stuff over here called the sidebar. Well, the first thing I want to show you, see this little pencil right here? If you click on that, I told you could shift it to the right if you want. Right there it is. You can also adjust the width if you'd like in pixels. So hit OK. Oh, and now it's over here. But let's say I want it back to the left. Shazam, there it is. So it's up to you where you want that. So that's how you can change the position. Right here, this is the Add button. We're going to add, or we're going to talk about that a little bit later. First, I want to show you how to edit some of these. Each one of these, right here, I covered my cursor over this one. This one's called a navigation gadget. And if I come down here to where this cool zombie picture is, that's called a text box gadget. That's what Google calls these little boxes over here. They call them gadgets, all right, according to what they do. So I want to first show you this navigation gadget, and as a matter of fact, I want to show you how to edit it. So if you click on the word navigation, you'll get this screen. Now you can have a title here. Now right now it's boringly named navigation, but you can change that if you want to something like cool stuff, man, all right? And if you wanted to display that title, you check the box. Now there's this right here. It says automatically organize my navigation. If you check this box, you're going to notice this screen disappears. What this does is when you add a page to the sidebar, or actually when you create a page, it will automatically plop it over here for you. However, you don't have a lot of control over what order they're in. It just like slaps them over there. So if you want more control, you want to uncheck this box, like so. So you get that back. So right here it says select pages to show. So right now we have home and test page, and you see that over here, home and test page. You also see sitemap. The reason that you see that is because we have this check mark down here. If we uncheck it and hit OK, you won't see that anymore. But let's talk about this middle section. Here it says add page and add URL at the bottom. If you want control on how to organize your navigation, you're going to be using these two features quite a bit. So if we want to add more pages, right now we have home and test page. If we want to add more pages, we're going to click add page. And that pulls up your sitemap. Now notice we have home, test page 2, test page 3. So let's put test page 2 on there. So I select it and hit OK. And there it is. Now notice it put it right below test page. That's what it's going to do by default. So if, let's say I want test page 2 above test page 1 because I'm a rebel like that. See these arrows over here? If you want it moved up, you move it up. And that's going to change the order. Now watch, I'm going to hit OK. It's going to save. You'll wait a little bit. And then boom, right here, you see my title showed up? Cool stuff, man. And now I've got test page 2 over test page 1. But let's say I don't want to do that. So I'm going to click on navigation. Let's say, oops, I wanted test page 2 underneath test page 1. In other words, I want it down below, but I also want it as a sub-page. If you want it as a sub-page of test page, then what you do is then you use these arrows over here to the right or to the left. So if you want it to make a sub-page, you're going to use the right arrow. Now watch what happens when I hit OK. This is what I mean by sub-page. Do you see that? So test page 2 will be under test page. But let's say you didn't want to do that. Click on where it says navigation again. Highlight that page. And then use the left arrow. And if I hit OK, now you see it's just over to the side. Okay? It's not a sub-page. It's its own private page there. So that's how you add pages. Now let's say I don't want test page 2 at all. I just want to get rid of it. I can hit the X button and it's gone. Watch. Now when I do that, you need to know this. When I hit that X button, it did not mean that I deleted test page 2 It meant that I just I got rid of it from the navigation gadget. That page still exists in your Google Sites. You just got rid of it from the sidebar. And that is one thing that you can do. You can actually hide pages if you're not ready to show them yet, if you want to work on them a little bit. All you got to do, you can create the page, just don't put it on your sidebar. Don't put it anywhere on the site. Nobody can find it, all right? So if you're still working on stuff, don't put it on your sidebar. So that's how you add pages, move pages around, etc. But what about this add URL? Well, that's literally what it is. Let's say I wanted to add a link. When you say add URL, you're adding a link. So let's say I want to add a link to Edmodo. So I'm going to type Edmodo here, and then I'm going to type in the URL, www.edmodo.com. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to hit OK here, watch. And then if someone presses that link or presses or clicks on Edmodo, it's going to go right to the Edmodo page. So that's pretty cool. So again, if you want to remove it, go over here, hit the X, and it's gone. Okay. So that is basically how you edit your navigation bar or the navigation gadget. Okay, so you can mess with the title, you can mess with what pages are there, and you can actually add URLs. So I'm going to click OK. Now notice, you see these little lines here? You can move these around. What if I wanted this below the text box? You see how I move that there? So I can move that around. I can move it back. Okay. Now this is a text box here. Text boxes are just what they are. You can actually type stuff in them. You can put pictures in them, like this cool zombie soccer mom. You can retitle them. It's basically like a little, little web page editor here. You can put pictures and stuff in there. Pretty cool. You can even actually embed things in here if you can edit the HTML source, which you're going to talk about a little bit later in another screencast. But I just wanted to show you what a text box was. So really the two basic navigation gadgets or sidebar gadgets that you'll need are the navigation gadget and the text box gadget. So that's how you edit them. By the way, if you want to get rid of them, you hit the X button. I don't want to do that right now, but you hit the X button. So that is how you rearrange your pages, add URLs, and move sidebar gadgets around. In the next screencast, we're going to talk about everybody's favorite, not the sidebar navigation, but the horizontal navigation. I know, you can barely contain yourselves, but you'll have to wait to the next screencast.